Well, good evening and welcome to tonight's version of Slices of Success. As you know, normally we meet here on Tuesdays. Yet, because I was at my mother's 80th birthday party last night with 34 or so people, I could not be with you. And so for that, I apologize. Today, I'm in this incredible place that I've never been before, Half Moon Bay in California. It's just in a remarkable place. I've never been here before. I'm about a mile and a half from the beach. I'm nestled in this little town, and I'm staying at the Cabela House. It's a bed and breakfast that I got for a really good deal, and it's an exciting place. It's a room like none other that I've ever stayed in. It has no TV, no phone, nothing in there, and so all I have is me and silence and the computer to deal with. And it's pretty exciting to be able to do that. And so tonight, if you're here, I'd like you to wave at me and tell me where you're at. I'm here in this beautiful place because tomorrow we have a meeting that we're going to for the California School Nutrition Association, the NorCal section of there. All the Bay Area schools will be here tomorrow, and I'm really excited about being there and seeing everybody. Now, last week, when we were together, we talked about the first of 6 sessions that we're going to be looking at uncovering and revealing the principles to listen our way to fulfillment. Now, I realize that many of you are into success and you're into those things, and you think that that's really the optimal thing. That's the thing that you really want more than anything else. And as I said before, I no longer believe that success is really what your goal ought to be. I think that fulfillment ought to be your greatest goal. Really, truly listen my way to that space of fulfillment. Last week, we talked about principle number 1. And principle number 1 is simply this, that we've got to log out of all the other conversations that we've got going on before I can log in to the conversation that I really need to be in. And there's a couple of conversations that I need to be in. The first one is simply the conversation with my own soul. That conversation, my own soul, my own mind, my will, and my emotions. That's the first conversation I need to have on a regular basis. And I know that you're the kind of person that talks to yourself. We all talk to ourselves. The truth is, are we honest enough to say, not only do I talk to myself, I answer myself? Wave your hand if you answer yourself once in a while. I do too. In fact, I jokingly say, sometimes it's the most intelligent conversation I have. And the truth is this. Here's the truth. When you and I learn how to talk to ourselves and really answer ourselves in a legitimate way, that we focus on fulfillment rather than success and happiness, great things will find us. Great things will occur during that process. So we talked about logging out. And what are some of the things that we need to log out of? We need to log out of social media when we're having a conversation with somebody. We need to log out of the television when we are having a conversation with somebody. We need to log out of my own past, my own resentments, my own intoxication from my own bar, my bitterness, anger, and resentment. Because the more I'm intoxicated through my own bitterness, anger, and resentment, I can't hear you, because all I'm really hearing is the voices of the past. And some of them, quite simply, my friend, are ghost. Quite simply, they are ghost. They are not really real, some of them. Some of those voices, they're things that don't even happen. They're things that didn't happen exactly the way you believe they do. And yet, because you have conversations with them, they're hampering your ability to move forward in your life. And so you have to get sober from your own intoxication of your bitterness, your anger, and your resentment, your own bar that you carry around. And listen, I know you. I know me. Most of us here, if we're honest with each other, we carry around a flask. We carry around a flask of our bitterness, anger, and resentment, and we take shots from it. We're bitter, angry, and resentful at things that we thought should have happened that didn't. We're bitter, angry, and resentful at people that we believe should have treated us better. They should have done something. And because they did something today that you have a ghost running around in your past, you think they did the exact same thing, and here you are getting hurt again. And many times it's just your intoxication. That's really all it is. That's really all it is. So we have to log out of social media, log out of our computer time, our what's called screen time. Log out of those things so that you can have a conversation with the person that's in front of you. You have to log out of the voices of your past, the voices that call for you for in the future. What can you get out of this arrangement? What can you get out of this conversation? We need to log out of all of those things to be able to log in to this conversation. And we need to log out of the distractions that's going on around us. For instance, in November, I will be in Ontario, California at the California School Nutrition Association's annual conference. I will present 2 workshops on Saturday and 2 workshops on Sunday. Now, while I'm in the midst of doing all that, there's going to be several, maybe 2,000 people there. And I know a few of them. I know a few people that'll be there. And I'll have conversations with people in the hallway. I have conversations in the room where all the food is displayed. I'll have conversations upstairs, downstairs, outside, different places. And here's what happens. While I'm engaged in a conversation, those ones that get to be engaged with me, and I get the honor of having an engagement with them, they will witness me turn the conversation around so that my back is to all the busyness. And here's why I do that. I turn the conversation around so that my eyes only see them. And the reason I do that is because it's hard for me to log into this conversation that you and I are having when I'm looking at everything else and everybody else. In fact, here today, I'm looking at you rather than everything, the beauty that's behind me. Because the truth is, to listen my way to fulfillment, I have to engage with you. I have to engage with the person that's in front of me. And the only way to do that is to stop and look here. Now, the second principle that we're going to spend a few minutes talking about tonight, the second principle is this. I must invest in the one speaking as if they have pearls and exciting things that will bring about something for both of us. That will bring about something for both of us. I must be engaged in this and invest in this. Now, how do I invest? There are 3 things that I must invest right away. The first one is my soul. I must invest my mind, my will, and my emotions in this conversation that we're having. I must invest in this conversation with my eyes, I must invest in this conversation with my ears. Now, for me, when I'm in a room, if we ever get to be in a room together, most of the time, I wish I could say every time, yet most of the time, what happens is I sit up front, and here's why. Because I'm one of those alphabet soup kids. I'm ADHD, BCF, XYZ. My brain and my eyes, everything flies all over the place. And when I'm in the back of the room, I'm watching this person over here. I'm watching that thing over there. I'm wondering about this. What's that smell? And I'm doing all that. Yet when I'm up front with my notepad and you're speaking, what happens is I'm totally engaged in you. I'm investing in you as though you have a treasure for me, as if I'm a pirate and you have the treasure that I've been searching for. There's something that you're going to say that's going to open up for me. That's going to open up big time for me. That's why I love to sit up front. When I'm in a large auditorium, the closer I can get, the better I am because I see everything that's going on. My peripheral vision is so huge that what happens is my eye witnesses things over here, and it's horrible is what it is. Jen, I'm telling you what it is. It's horrible what happens to me. And I realized this over my years. And I've really attempted, now listen to me, lean in and listen to me. If you're here and you know me personally, you know that I'm not 100% accurate on this. I'm not batting 1,000 on this, okay? Yet I have a perfect attempt. I do. I have a perfect attempt. I truly want to know what you're saying. I truly do. That's why I want to turn the conversation around so I can see you. If you and I go to the restaurant, in the old days, when I was younger, if we go to a restaurant, if we go to pizza, if we go someplace, I'm going to sit with my back to the wall so I can see what's going on around me. Oh, I got to see. I don't do that on a regular basis today. When I go to eat with people that I care about, when I go to eat with someone that I truly care about, I want to sit where I can look at them, where I can engage with them. Because to me, they're the treasure. They have something they're going to say that I want to know, that's going to change my life, that's going to change our life. Because, yes, it's true. When we have this conversation, we're going to talk about you. We're going to talk about me. Yet for us to be truly engaged and for me to listen my way to fulfillment, we got to talk more about us. I got to know. And the only way for me to do that is to be engaged with you. And I suffer with ABC soup. I do. It's a mess inside my head. It really, truly messes me up because I have all kinds of things that are going on. Kathy, you're saying you're heading out to a Bible study right now and you'll catch up to us later. Learn something at that Bible study. Get something that improves your character so that you can serve other people. Learn. Really get there and learn. Use the time well. I appreciate how you served students all those years. I really do. And listen, so the first thing is log out of all those other conversations. Okay. The second thing, invest in the speaker as though they have something truly wonderful to say. Years ago, before we depart, I began to come in touch. I began to come into this concept. An older person said to me that if I was going to be successful at speaking, I needed to learn how to engage with children to the point where they wanted to talk to me. And I didn't really understand what they were saying, this older individual. It's funny because when they spoke to me, they were the age I am now, and I thought of them as an older person. and here I am now in this state of going to be 61 in a little while, and I'm the older person to some people now. And inside my body, I don't feel that at all. I live in the land of Ur. I'm older than I once was, but I don't feel old. I don't know what that feels like. There's never really truly been a day that I felt old. That's the truth. Okay? I just have never done that. Here's the deal. To invest in somebody as though they have a treasure, you can practice on children. Listen to me. Let me tell you a couple of things that happens to me on a regular basis. On a regular basis. Not long ago, I was with somebody and we were on a train. And while we were on this train, this little girl that was with her family all of a sudden wanted to have a conversation with me. And as she began to interchange with me, somehow we connected. I was investing in her and she taught me something that day. She taught me something that day. And what she taught me was this. It's okay to follow your inclinations. This little girl with her family had an inclination that I was trustable. And her family was right there. Next thing I know, she's over talking to me. I don't know. She must have been 5, maybe younger. Okay. Next thing I know, she's talking to me more than she is with her family. Then she comes over and she literally puts her head on my head. And we had this tiny little conversation. How do you do that? How do you invest in somebody waiting for the treasure chest to be opened up? Let me give you a couple things and then we'll run. The first thing is look at them. Look at them. Listen, if you're on your iPad, if you're on your tablet, if you're taking notes on your phone, you, if you're like most of us, have to look down to be able to take those notes. And so you really are not looking at them. Being a speaker, there's some of you that are here that are speakers. You know that when somebody looks at you from the audience, it energizes you, doesn't it? It must be what a Pentecostal preacher gets when he hears somebody say, "Come on, preacher, come on, preach it." See, when somebody looks at you, they're saying to you, "I'm just waiting. I've got my bib on." It's like eating beef ribs. They're waiting for something wondrous to come out of your lips when they're looking at you. And I don't think most of us can do that when we're on our tablets, when we're checking email, when we're logged out of this conversation. I just don't think most of us do. What would you say? How about you and I that are here tonight? How are you? The second thing is, have a piece of paper in front of you, and rather than taking long notes, okay, take words down. And I double dog dare you to try this next time you're in a room with somebody, okay? Every smartphone that I'm aware of, I have an iPhone Max. Every tablet, I have an iPad. There's apps that you can download that will record conversations. I double dog dare you to invest in the moment by turning the recorder on, recording what they're saying, leave a piece of paper right there in front of you, and catch words rather than trying to write down conversations that happen, trying to write down the sentences and the paragraphs. Just catch a few words as they come by. Catch a few words. And then if you record it, see, you don't have to be the person that, excuse me, the person that takes these long notes. Just write down words. In fact, one of the reasons that I do handouts, when I do handouts, and the way I do them, it is rare that I leave room for paragraphs. I usually leave room for people to write down words, single words. And the reason I do that is really something that I've learned personally. When I'm looking down and attempting to do this, and I'm not looking at you, what happens is my brain travels in another place. And so that's what I've attempted to do when I hand out pages for people to take notes. I leave spaces so they can write down a word. I challenge you to begin to record what's going on. Now, can I just give something to you speakers that are here? Okay? Something for you speakers. All you speakers, raise your hand. Everybody that's in front of a group, when you are running all over the room, you are talking really, really, really fast. Their brains are not good enough. None of us are able to catch all the things you just said. And the truth is, what you're doing is exhibiting that you're nervous. I would challenge you, rather than running around saying things really, really fast, as a speaker, I want to encourage you, slow down and give your audience a moment to process what you just said. Look at them and give them a moment to process what you just said. And then somehow repeat what you just said. Give them a moment to process what you just said. Because if you're on the stage, if you're in front of them, you should come there to open up the treasure chest for those that want the treasure. There are some in your audience that are only there because they were told to be there. Yet there's a handful that are looking for you to give them something. So what have I said tonight? What have we visited about? We started off by saying that we must log out of all the other conversations. Principle 1, to be able to listen our way to fulfillment. Principle 2, invest in the speaker, whether they are in front of the room, whether they are on the stage, whether they are a one-on-one or in a conversation somewhere on the side of the road, or as it was for me, on a train. Look at them. Look at them. Now, the second thing that you can do to invest in that, if you have the opportunity, ask them questions about them. Ask them how they got to this position. Ask them questions that cause them to reach into the recesses of their minds to give you an answer. Do your best to steer away from simple yes, no kind of questions. Engage with them so that they have to answer you in sentences. Now, as they answer you in sentences and paragraphs, remember, you're looking at them because you're waiting for the treasure. Nod your head. Nod your head. And then as you're doing that, find something that you can ask about what they just said. All right? Do that. When you have, obviously you're not going to have that ability to do that with somebody that's on the stage or somebody that's up front. Okay? Yet when you're one-on-one, you're having pizza with somebody, learn how to make the conversation more about them. Ask them about them. Okay? Ask them about them. And listen to me. The more you tell them about you, the more you tell them how great you are, how wondrous you are, how much a superstar you are, the less they believe it. The less they believe it. The more you believe in them, the more you engage with them, and you peel away the slices of who they are and smile at them while you're looking at them and nodding your head as you're hearing them. And then you repeat some of the things they said back to you. The more they know that in fact they are as great as you believe they are, because you've invested in the conversation as though they have a treasure. And this is what I believe. Every human being has a treasure. They have a treasure. They're here because they have something inside of them that's supposed to add to our world. It is your job. It is my job. It is my mission. It is your mission that when you sit with them, when you converse with them, when you have a conversation with them, is to help them discover the greatness that's inside of them. To discover the greatness that's inside of them. Listen, my name's Matt, and I'm your friend, and I'm so looking forward to the day I can see you and put my hand on your cheek and put my cheek next to yours and say to you, I cherish this moment. I love this moment because I get to talk with you. I get to listen to you. Learn to listen your way to fulfillment. Move away from your goal of success and happiness and start searching for fulfillment, right? You can reach me anytime at 916-708-8103. You can call me or you can text me there, all right? You can email me at leap@mattupton.net. And right now what I'm going to do, I'm going to say see you later, and I'm going to go put my things upstairs in my room, and I'm going to go have me some Italian food, all right? And I look forward to seeing you soon. See you later.